Hello, everybody. Just give me a moment. I'm just making sure we're live. I'm actually doing something a little bit different for for today's live. Is I am actually going to go live both on TikTok and Facebook at the same time. So feel free, please, to say hi to me, no matter where you are. So I'm doing a bit of a bit tricky thing tonight. So bear with me as I get the technology going up and going. So over on Facebook, I've got to say hello to Reg and Rika. Hey, gorgeous girls. And wow, I've got some people joining me here. Too many people popping up for me to say hello to on TikTok. So please forgive me if I miss your names. So I'll be going up, down, back and forth all over the place tonight. So please forgive me for that because I am live both at the same time on both Facebook and on TikTok. And the topic of tonight's live is some tips and a bit of fun while we have about the, let me try that again. Some tips and shortcuts for going live on social media. So that's going to be the topic tonight. If you've got questions, pop them in for me, please. If you're on TikTok, please send me a DM with your questions because you don't seem to get the notifications in the lives on TikTok. So thank you. Just send me a DM with your questions for about tonight. So let me know. And on Facebook, I've got you open over here so I can see you. Feel free to comment over there as well. And I'll come back and answer your questions where I can. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Amanda Sutherland. I'm an I'm an actor. I'm an entertainer. I am an author. I'm an entertainer. I'm also an entrepreneur, and yeah, I'm a drama teacher in some planes. I can't do a Kahoot game at the moment. Sorry. Maybe next time I'll have to work out how you do that on TikTok. But I love Kahoot games. They're good fun. So yeah, I've got about 30 something years experience in business, working across many different industries. That's a little bit of my background. I love to help people discover their creativity and make it work for them in their businesses or in their art practices, whatever works for them. Thank you over here. I'm back over Facebook, Lucia. Yes, I do remember Periscope and Hey GB and Hey Reg. So yeah, it's wonderful to have everybody, so many people live with me. Um, it's great to do that. So I do have lots of tips for you. So you know who I am now. So who knows what the importance of, this is a question for everybody. Who understands what the importance of actually going live on your different social medias is? There are many reasons to do it, but I'm only going to focus on a couple of them. So, while you're thinking about that, so Lucia, I'm not sure if you're aware, but Kahoots is actually an online game you can play no matter where you are in the world. I'm not sure if you're aware of that one. I'll tell you about it later. So it's a great game. It's a great way of interacting with people. So that's a great suggestion. I might have to do that another time. Um, okay, so no, if you're bored is not the right answer. In this particular, for when you're trying to work with a business and whatnot, what you need to have is that connection with your customers. And it's your customers need to have that ability to understand who you are, and they need to face the old adage of know, like, and trust you. Well, going live on your socials gives you a great opportunity to actually put in that time with them, lets them get to see you, get to know you, and it becomes interactive. So you get a great way of interacting with people. It's a great way for them to meet you, see who you are. It's a great way to really promote yourself, promote the business, promote your products. But it really builds that trust. It really helps build that trust. Now I've got the cheer over here saying, yes, your face is your fortune, and your clients want to know who they are dealing with. So going live is definitely one of the best ways you can actually develop that. But one of the biggest things you need to remember though, when you go live, audiences can actually see you, which means if you're being fake or doing something that's not authentic to yourself, well, they're going to see right through that. They're going to see right through that in no time at all. So the biggest tip is to be authentic to yourself. biggest tip, authenticity. I cannot tell you how important that is be yourself. Because there are hundreds of people, if not thousands of people around the world selling what you sell. So if you try and be like everybody else, you are not going to reach your customers. You are not going to be able to service your customers. So you really do need to be authentic to who you are, because everybody appeals to different people, because not everybody likes everybody. And that's the beauty of going live. It helps your customers to find the people they like, the people they resonate with. So if you're true to yourself, you will attract the right kind of person for you to work with. If you don't be true to yourself, people will not develop that know, like, and trust factor with you. So that's a really, really big tip and a really big reason for understanding the purposes of going live. It really is a shortcut to getting people to know and like you, and to understand who you are, understand what you offer. It is the biggest and best shortcut you can offer, no matter what kind of business you are in. And let's face it, most people are in some kind of business, whether it be the business of relaxation, the business of entertainment, like I am, it's just a business of it. It doesn't have to be paid business. It can be any kind of business. And yeah, it's just so many definitions of it because it works for everybody. So let me get on to a little bit more content for you. We've got a lot to go. Yep, I've got about 20 minutes left to go. I'm on a half-hour schedule tonight because for those of you who are watching me on TikTok, I am doing this as a part of the Empowering Successful Entrepreneurs private Facebook group expo. So they're having an online business expo where we can help each other, help support each other. So one of the best things you can do to help yourself when you're going live is to have some sort of ideas about what you want to talk about and break it down into some sort of structure to follow. I find 2 to 3 points is ideal because that then helps keep you on track. Because if you just get on there and waffle, well, waffling can turn people off. And we don't want that, do we? We want actually to have people engaged with us. So yeah, the preparation is a fairly important part. Unless you know your topic inside out, preparation is absolutely key. And if you are nervous about being on live, because it is actually scary, it can be a very scary thing to put yourself out there like that. It can be very scary. And to help you with that confidence, it doesn't hurt to actually have an outline of what you want to talk about. It helps keep you on topic. Today, I've actually got behind me on my big screen in front of me my outline discussing what I'm going to talk about today. So it is really important, even when you're confident with what you're talking about, to have that guideline there. So that just keeps you on track. That's, yeah, keeps you on track. How can I say that any more succinctly? So some of the other things I want to go through in part of your preparation is looking into your writing and whatnot. So making sure you're in a situation where you've got good, even lighting. So you don't have to spend a lot of money for this. One of the things you can do for this is if you happen to have big windows near you, sit so you're facing the window. So you get all that natural diffused light flooding in, and it gives you a really beautiful, even look. Now, if you're indoors like I am, what you can do is I've got a camera, the camera that's actually lighting my face at the moment. It has a ring light on it as well. So you can use that and gives you a nice white light to do that. You can also buy plenty of ring lights online these days. They're not that hard. Some of your cheaper shops even have very cheap ring lights these days. It's not hard to get them. They're very easy to use. But if you don't even have that, you just need a lamp. But when you're using your lamps, you do need to be mindful of the type of light bulbs that are in them. And I'm about to show you why. I've got 2 lamps behind either side of me here that they have light bulbs that give off warm light. And I want you to see what they do to my skin in a moment. So I'm going to turn turn them on. So I'm going to reach over here and I'm going to reach over here and turn this one on. So actually, yeah, they tend to bring out the yellow hue in my skin. It's not so bad here on TikTok. On TikTok, it's not actually so bad. I don't look too bad, but when I'm going live on Facebook through Zoom, for example, like I am today, my skin becomes incredibly yellow. And that just makes you look sick. And we don't want to give that appearance to our followers, do we? Because they've taken the time to come and enjoy what we have, what content we have. I'm just going to turn these off so I don't look so sick. And as you can see, it does make a big difference. Natural lighting is amazing if you could actually get hold of it, but you don't want to be in direct sunlight. You want to be in shaded light or diffused light. So coming through a window is really good because then the sun's not in your face. Because when the sun's in your face, you get those really harsh angles and shadows on your skin, which can also be distracting. Now, another tip for those of you who wear glasses like I do, if you're looking at a ring light like I am up here, you're not going to get the little circles in your eyes like a lot of people who use ring lights. You're going to often get the reflection of the light in your glasses. Now, one tip for actually, well, thank you. Happy Chinese New Year to you as well. And I'm not going to comment to the rest of that statement because that is just not going to happen for me. But thank you for your good wishes. So one of the tips you can do with your glasses, if you're looking into light all the time, so what you can do to actually get rid of the light, because that can be annoying for you and it can be annoying for the viewer. What you do is instead of putting them on straight, you tip them. You put them on and you tip them. And what that does is it changes the angle that the circle of the light actually hits you and removes it. So like if I tip my head back now, you can actually see it. But if I tip my head forward, you can see the reflection of my computer screen on my glasses now, as opposed to having that bright circle in the middle there. So that is one great tip when you're going live, especially if you wear glasses. So another thing you need is obviously a camera of some sort. And most modern phones these days, they actually have superb cameras in them. The phone that I'm for those of you who are on TikTok, the phone that I'm using now is just my old iPhone. I actually recorded a short film on it with some actor friends a couple of years ago. So your phone is actually phone cameras these days are exceptional. And that's all you need is your phone camera. Now, some tips about using your phone camera. If you can, set it onto something that holds it up so that it's not going to rock and roll around or be wobbly, because who can watch someone like this who's being wobbly all the time? It gets a bit distracting. So you really do want to have a nice still picture if you can. So what I've actually got is, I have to admit, I love shopping on Temu way too much, but they have all these little mobile phone holders that are only like this tall or something like that hold the phone up for me, because I like to have the phone up where I can see when I'm working. And I've actually got that sat this afternoon on top of a container so that those of you who are on TikTok with me can actually see me. And you don't want to see too much. I could probably have it a bit lower because I've got a lot of head height here, but on Facebook and in Zoom, I don't have that head height, which is awesome. So yeah, you don't want a lot of gap here, but unfortunately, the way this has worked out today, I have it on TikTok, but I don't have it on Facebook. So these are all things you need to think about. Now, when it comes to going live on your socials, you need to think about what platform you're going to go live on, because that determines how you position your camera. So when you're going live on, say, Facebook, you actually want a camera that's going to broadcast in portrait mode. In landscape mode, which means horizontal mode, because Facebook accepts that kind of picture and that kind of imagery. However, if you're going live in Reels or TikTok or anything like that, with shorts on YouTube, you want to have your camera positioned vertically, because that gives you the best feel for those platforms. So really paying attention to what platform you are using is essential to knowing how to place your camera. Now, if you don't have any, oh gosh, I'm going to run out of time if I'm not careful. I can talk about this for hours. I really can. I love this stuff. So where was I? So another tip for, this is why you have your guideline here. So another tip for when you're using your camera is if you want it to stay upright and you don't have a camera holder or anything like that, get yourself a bottle of something, so long as it's got some sort of fluid or weight in it. There is absolutely no reason why you can't grab a couple of rubber bands and rubber band your phone to that object and sit that in front of you. It can be as simple and as cheap as that for actually holding your camera still. It really does not have to be anything difficult or expensive. Going live does not have to be expensive. It really does not. Now, another tip I can give you about placement of your camera is if you are able to have it look down from the top, because what that does is, I'm going to lift the viewers on the TikTok off so they can see this, but if you're coming down from the top and you've got a double chin like I do, the double chin, when you're looking down from the top, so the guys on Facebook can actually see this, the double chin is not as obvious, whereas if I can't show you on TikTok, sorry, if I move the camera, I'll never get it back to the right position. And that's another thing that's going to bring me to another point. Test your equipment before you go live. Now, even if that means, one of the best things you can do, if you just want to practice somewhere to practice, what you can do is in your Facebook group, create a private Facebook group where nobody is going to see you, and just go straight into there and do your live in there and practice that way. And that gives you the confidence that no one's watching you, so you can actually practice and make sure. And it's a great place to go and test all your equipment. Make sure your equipment's working, because there's nothing worse than going live and discovering that you've got a problem with the equipment. No, nothing like that at all. So what we should probably do is keep moving on, because I've got about 10 minutes left on this live, is some techniques for engagement strategies. So things like Kahoots, as was suggested earlier, polls, opinions, asking for comments, asking your audience to do something, saying hello to them like I have been trying to do it, noticing their comments and responding to those comments. These are just some of the best ways to actually, engage with your audience. And that actually helps you build that know, like, and trust that we were speaking about right at the beginning of the show, of the live, sorry. So you've got lots of different things we can talk about. So some of the challenges you might run into. So yeah, I'm moving on now pretty quickly because I'm going to run out of time otherwise. Because this is something I feel passionate about and I love doing. Oops, I've just bumped my phone. Yes. I'm a hand talker. I'm sorry. I'm going to try and put my hands down. So being yourself is important, and me being a hand talker is being myself. So some of the challenges that you might face when you go live are trolls. Don't acknowledge them. That's the fastest way to shut a troll down, is just don't acknowledge them. There's just don't acknowledge them. You will face trolls. You will from time to time come across problems with your technology. Your internet suddenly gives out, your phone suddenly gives out. Before I came live on Facebook this afternoon, Zoom decided it wasn't going to talk to Facebook and let me come live from Zoom. So I had to shut everything down and troubleshoot that. So this is why it's important to actually do your preparation and go through and test everything so you understand how it all works. And that way, if something happens last minute, you can then troubleshoot on the fly and not allow it to phase you, or so you can have a continuous session, which is what we want. We want smooth, continuous sessions. So another thing you can do is have calls to action. If you're here to sell a product or sell a service, or so Chia's just given me over here on Facebook another one. There is often a lag. Got to remember that there is a lag between when people comment and when they respond. So you'll make a statement and there will be a lag between how long it takes them to get that and respond to you. So remember, there is lag times as well. Good example of the lag time for me is when I see people going live on Facebook. I get the notification on my phone about 3 minutes before I get the notification on my computer. So it can take time for all the systems to work out that you're live, And it can take that amount of time as well for responses to get back to you when you are talking to your people. So yeah, there are lots of different things to be aware of. So another one we can look at is staying calm and being adaptable. So that's just another great little tip. Is sort of, if you're the kind of person who gets nervous and anxious about anything that could be perceived as public speaking, and quite frankly, going live can be a form of public speaking. It's probably a little bit more comfortable for some people because you're not directly facing the audience, and that can take that fear out. But also be conscious of where your camera is, because looking at your camera and looking at your audience actually helps engage your audience. So one simple tip you can do is, if you know where your camera is on your phone, for example, so I'm talking directly to people who use their phones, you just look straight at the phone. And in the acting world, it's called straight down the barrel. Now, you generally don't do that as an actor because that breaks the fourth wall. But when you're going live, looking straight down the barrel is a great way to help your audience feel connected. So I'm going to show this to the people on Facebook now because I've done it for TikTok. So yeah, on my Facebook computer, for example, I've got a little tiny ring light up there, and it has a straight line on it. So I know that when I'm going live on using my computer and the camera on my computer, you actually look at the straight line, and that allows you to look straight down the barrel and create that extra engagement with your people. However, if you don't have access to that, it can be as simple as a Post-it note with a face on it where the camera is. So that you are looking at that, and that then helps you to look like you're talking to someone, helps you to feel like you're talking to someone. And then when you're live, it helps you to become more personable, because it becomes a conversation. You're not robotic then. Because I don't know about you guys, I find I tune out very quickly if someone is talking robotically. That does make it very difficult for me to listen to. So you've got to allow your personality to shine through. And one of the things you can do for relaxing your personality and keeping yourself relaxed and calm during a live is to actually either have a smiley face that you're looking at, or sometimes even if it's a picture of a loved one or a picture of a pet, just something for you to talk to so you feel like you're talking to someone else. So that's how you can overcome that stress of being anxious about talking to people. And remember, it's not really about you. When you do this, it's not about you. It's about how you can help your people, how you can help those who are watching. Thanks, and Reg over here on Facebook saying great tips. So thank you for that, Reg. I really appreciate that comment. So yeah, it's so many different things you can do. Just got to remember, ultimately in business, when you are helping people by going live, it's not about you. So if you don't focus on you when you do this, and you focus on servicing the people you are talking to, that just takes all the stress out, because then you are helping someone. And I know most people really enjoy helping people. I better start winding this up because I've only got a couple of minutes left on my clock for the day. So thank you everybody so far who has joined me in this live. Now, so some of the things we've covered are: be yourself. Very important to be yourself, because most people who are watching lives, most people in your audiences, they will see through somebody like nobody's business if they are fake. So be yourself, because if you're not yourself, you don't attract the right kind of people, and the business, whatever you're doing for business, is not successful if you are attracting people who are not like you. If you are true to who you are, you attract the right kind of people for you. And let's face it, there are millions and billions of people in the world. We can't service all of them. So there is space in every market for every person, no matter who they are. So just remember that. It's all about just giving it a go. Live, something I haven't said already, going live is just amazing because not everybody is doing it. I know lots more people are doing it these days, but lots of people are too scared to do it. So for anybody that does it, you are one step ahead. Oh, you're welcome, GB. I'm getting the wrap up over here on Facebook, so I will probably finish up on Facebook very shortly. So just a couple more quick things to wrap up. I've got to wrap up. Oh, sorry, I've lost my train of thought. Back to my list. This is where your preparation and having your list is awesome, because if you do lose your train of thought, you've got something to go back to. So yeah, we spoke about the benefits of going live, some tips for preparation, tips for your lighting, some suggested testing, making sure you test your equipment before you go live so you understand how it works. There's just so many different things. Engagement strategies, some of those can be as simple as saying hello to people who are commenting, like I've just done with GB's just said thank you over on Facebook. And we've had lots of people on here on TikTok as well. Unfortunately, on TikTok, you come up so fast, I can't see all your names at any given time. So, but thank you for your joining in. So simple engagement can be as simple as saying thank you, like I've just done, saying thank you for joining me. Thank you for spending that time with me. It can also be things like using interactive polls, asking questions, all of that stuff. Just really take the time to ask the people who are watching you what they want to know. So I do have to wrap up. I've got 2 minutes left. So I don't normally go live to this long. I normally just go bang, 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 done, because I talk too much. That's okay. That's the purpose of this one today. Have fun. Have fun with your lives. That's the biggest tip I'm going to give you. If you've got any more questions or anything you want to know, please reach out and message me. Please ask questions. I'm only too happy to help. I do have in May it's in May. I'm in the process of planning it. A workshop coming up, a free masterclass coming up on bit that goes into some of these tips a little bit more in depth. So please feel free to reach out and get the registration link for that. So in the meantime, I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you for joining me live on TikTok. Thank you for joining me live on Facebook. It's great to have everybody here. Have fun with your lives, everyone. And bye for now. Have fun with everything. Bye for now.